in the lead. This is brilliant. Keep it up.
We are now in the lead of the race with not enough gas to make it to the end. Are you kidding me?
Only 2 more laps of fuel.
Welcome to Banked Racing. This week we have Week 12 action from iRacing Season 2 of 2025 in the IMSA series. We are going around the iconic 8.46-mile circuit in the north of France, Le Mans. We expect a dry race with 0% chance of rain for the session. Our grid is made up of 46 total drivers, 14 drivers in the GTP class and 32 in the GT3 class. We have a strength of field of 1262 for the GTP class. Moving to the GT3 class, we have a strength of field of 1242. All the drivers beyond P18 failed to set a time, which brings us to banked racing in the number 10 Corvette starting in P20 after just barely going off track through Tetra Rouge. The pace of that Corvette is normally in the 359s and 358s, so we can expect for them to have a fight through the field today. The GT3 leaders hot on the tails of the GTP pack as they approach the Ford chicanes. And now we finally get the green flag to start this race, and it is immediately going to be drama in the GTP field as the 33 Ferrari tried to go up the inside of the 27 Ferrari, which is going to bring the 35 Ferrari to a halt. But as they get back on the throttle to get back going, they are going to get bit by their cold tyres and go sliding into the barriers. And with that early start by the GT3 leader, the number 24 is going to be massively slowed up by this GTP mess, which is going to let Anderson in the number 2 Ferrari 296 jump into the lead right out of the Ford chicanes. But the Ford chicane drama is not over yet as the Porsche avoids contact with one Red Bull car. They are going to send it side by side with another one, which is going to end in tears for them. And as they carry on going, they are going to have some very visible steering damage. Banked racing behind, who is going to get stuck behind the Porsche as the number 25 McLaren moves to their outside down the front stretch. And now, as we approach turn 1, the Porsche is going to drastically slow even more, causing the trapped banked racing to lose another position as they had nowhere to go as the number 9 Ferrari swoops around them. And look at this, banked racing will not be wasting any time getting by those cars ahead as they get a stellar first exit out of Tetra Rouge onto the Mulsanne straight to be able to rocket by the number 9 Ferrari 296. And as we look ahead to the PlayStation chicane, the number 8 Red Bull McLaren is going to go very deep into the corner. And that purple McLaren is going to get a good exit out of the PlayStation chicane to be able to briefly tuck themselves in the slipstream and very quickly pull to the inside of the number 8 to get a chance to get by at the next chicane. All while banked racing is very quickly pulling to the bumpers of both the McLarens, but that number 25 is not going to be able to get cleanly by the 8 to give banked racing the chance to get their nose up the inside of that Red Bull McLaren. So as the 25 goes up the inside and comes very close to contact with the 8, banked racing is going to set up the switchback out of the chicane as the 8 was compromised by the 25 into the corner, which they are going to be able to pull off and very quickly come alongside with the number 8 as they head on the run down to the Mulsanne corner. And with the inside line, the Corvette is going to be able to easily pull ahead as they now work their way into the top 15. The 10 have definitely been struggling through those final corners all weekend. But that weakness is not going to stop them from gaining on the 25 McLaren as the gap is going to come down to just 0.3 of a second as we run through the S's. Can that Corvette get another great run out of Tetra Rouge to be able to get another pass done? It looks like they are going to do it again as they power by the outside this time. And as banked racing gets another pass done, Mark W in the 29 Porsche is going to fall victim to the first slowdown of the race as they cut the curb at Tetra Rouge a bit too much. Banked racing is a bit too far back to take immediate advantage of that slowdown on the Porsche like the 36 and 6 were able to do. And they are going to be wary that the slower Porsche will mess them up and maybe give the 25 McLaren a chance to get back by, which they are nearly going to do as they almost look to have a big send up the inside of the Corvette into the chicane. Good thing they didn't go for that. That would have ended very poorly. But we will see if that McLaren will continue to pose a threat to banked racing. And oh no! That McLaren is going to go around!
Now we don't have to worry about that. It's unfortunate for him, but very fortunate for us.
Yellow flag.
As yellow flags fly at the Mulsanne corner, let's take a look at why. Oh, unfortunately, it's going to be P4 and another McLaren losing the car under braking as Leon Tino in the 30 goes around. And that will be Banked Racing moving up to P13. The number 10 is going to be a tenth back from the number 29 Porsche, but just didn't get a good enough exit out of Amage to make a move into the Porsche curves. But they are going to be all over their bumper as they sweep through the sector. There won't be too much more of a chance for the Corvette to get by. Oh wait, the Porsche is going to go wide, and oh, they're going spinning around. Banked Racing is going to set a 3:59.976 on that lap, which is going to be a second faster than P11 and P10 ahead, and even closer to 2 seconds faster than P9. This could give Banked Racing the chance to go 3 for 3 with passes out of Tetra Rouge to start this race. And as the Red Bull Ferrari gets close to the Merc, they are going to mess up their own entry to Tetra Rouge. That should give Banked Racing the chance to get the run on the number 6 Ferrari. They will get the run on the Ferrari, but not nearly as good as they did the last 2 laps. So this will not be a slam dunk pass as the other 2 were, but they are going to be able to get to the inside of the Ferrari, which will set up an opportunity to outbrake the Ferrari into the PlayStation chicane. And Banked Racing will be able to complete the Tetra Rouge hat-trick as they get up the inside of the Ferrari. And as they enter the Michelin chicane, the 36s have a bit of a wiggle midway through the corner, and this will surely be another great chance for Banked Racing to make a move into the Mulsanne corner. The Merc will not defend the inside, and the 10 will jump on that and move to the inside of the 36, but they just aren't going to have a good enough run to fully pull alongside, and they will not go for the dive bomb and back out of the move. But as Banked Racing backs out of the move, the Ferrari behind is going to try a cheeky move around the outside, but the 10 will be able to hold them off. Those Mercs are definitely close enough to get into a fight. That would bring the Corvette right back there. Oh, and it's not a fight, but the 36 will get scared following the 3 car. And wow, the Corvette jump at the opportunity and will dive to the inside into Indy. What a move! And they will be able to make it stick as the Merc goes flying into the gravel. I don't think the 10 was prepared for the Merc to be that slow, but was able to react quick enough to take advantage of that door opening. Banked Racing were a second faster than the number 3 Mercedes as they are now all over the bumper of that AMG as they had a bit of a slide out of the Dunlop chicane. And it's more deja vu as the 10 will have another chance for a Tetra Rouge pass here on lap 4 as they are applying massive pressure to Florian ahead. Oh, and the AMG will run wide out of Tetra Rouge, and that will be a slowdown penalty for the 3. And with moving up to P9, Banked Racing will have some clear track ahead of them for the first time this race, as the next car is nearly 2 seconds up the road. It will be only a matter of time before the 10 catches these 3. No one is close enough for any moves into Mulsanne corner here, but the corner exit will be so crucial here. The Porsche will have to defend for sure here, as the Ferrari behind will have the slipstream being just 2 tenths behind the 40. But as the Ferrari is tucked up in that slipstream, the Porsche just barely leaves the door open on the inside for the Ferrari to now pull alongside as they speed down towards Indianapolis corner. But the Porsche will be brave on the brakes and keep it alongside the Ferrari as they go into Indy, and that will open up the door for the NSX to get alongside the Ferrari. And as they have a traction race down to Amage, the NSX will just barely pull ahead as the Ferrari will back out of any move there. And this is it. This is the fight that we've been talking about, that would bring Banked Racing in the fight now as the Corvette pulls right to the bumper of the 28 Ferrari into Amage. And as Banked Racing is all over the Ferrari, Matteo is all over Roderick in the Porsche will move to defend the inside, but the 13 will sweep around the outside of the 40. Will they make it stick? Yes, they will, as they move up to P6. What a move! Oh no, what happened behind? The Ferrari is off the track. As Banked Racing was tucked behind the Ferrari, they just ran into the back of the Ferrari in the braking zone of the Porsche curves. Looking at the data, they obviously stopped on the brakes when they saw that Ferrari slowing a lot more than expected. It was just too little too late. But if we look even more into the data, that Ferrari was going 125 miles per hour at the point of contact at about the 3rd hash after the green painted curb. At that same point, the Corvette typically takes that corner at 140 miles per hour. And yes, there were cars fighting ahead of that Ferrari. But on the last lap, the 28 is still braking a bit early and was going 120 miles per hour at the third hash. So 125 miles per hour is really representative of their normal pace, and it doesn't seem they slowed any more than usual for the battle ahead. And it's not just banked racing going that fast there. Both cars ahead typically go just as fast there. And the number 6, another Ferrari, is also going 140 into that corner on the same lap. So while the following car has the responsibility to follow safely, the lead car needs to be predictable. And banked racing could not have expected the Ferrari to slow that much, especially this being their first lap anywhere close to the 28 to observe their pace. Maybe they should have tried to move up the inside or backed off way more there. But in my eyes, it's just a racing incident.
Well, the focus will have to shift ahead now.
And oh! The NSX is off the track out of the Ford chicane. That should surely give the Porsche the chance to breeze by. But will banked racing get there? The NSX doesn't move to defend the inside. And the Corvette will slide up the inside as the NSX backs out of any move up the inside of the Corvette into the Dunlop chicane. Another opportunist move by banked racing to move up to P7 now. But oh no! It's going to be a devastating mistake by banked racing as they cut the corner entry of the PlayStation chicane. And that will be a 1.1 second slowdown penalty for that Corvette.
Oh, and there's going to be some drama ahead
As P2 Anderson in the number 2 Ferrari loses the car over the curb on the exit of the Michelin chicane, slamming into the barrier on the other side of the track, destroying their rear end. That will be race over for that car.
But that will be another free position for the Corvette,
moving back into P7 after just losing out to the NSX.
after not the best lap.
Stuck behind the 13 and 40, Banked Racing is going to decide to risk it and come into the pits this lap to try and undercut the two cars ahead of them. That Corvette still has a lap of fuel in the tank, but their race labs and crew chief is telling them their pit window is open this lap.
Banked Racing took about 10 gallons of fuel, taking 17 seconds to be serviced.
They did not take tyres, but with only 6 to 7% wear on their tyres, it should not be a factor in this race. But now on this outlap, for the first time this race, they will have to deal with the GTPs coming through as they try to have a good lap to complete the undercut. So far, so good for Banked Racing. Will this GTP mess up Banked Racing? No, the number 18 Porsche will just barely slip in front of the Corvette. Great luck there to not lose a lot of time with that GTP coming through.
So now that should be the last of the GTPs for this lap for the 10. Oh, and the 25 McLaren is going to be in the wall ahead. I don't know if the GTP scared them or it's just a mistake by them.
But as they come back on the track, Banked Racing will slide by and luckily not lose any time there.
And as the outlap comes to an end for the 10,
They will be delighted to know that the 13 and 40 got into a battle while they were on their outlap, as Matteo has the chance to send it up the inside Roderick in Indy, and they will get the move done as the Ferrari 499P approaches. Oh, and look at this! Roderick will not move over for the GTP, sending it up there inside into a marge. Not a good or smart move by the Porsche there, as they will lose so much time there. That will surely give Banked Racing the gap to undercut the 40 at bare minimum. So now, as the GT3 leaders and the rest of the GT3 field heads to the pits, we wait to see where Banked Racing is, and will that short battle between the Porsche and NSX give the Corvette the chance to jump in front of one or both of them? Oh, but look at this! There's some unexpected drama in the pits. That is Jason O in the number 19 McLaren, the GT3 leader, and they are getting passed by not only the NSX and Porsche, but by so much of the GT3 field. It seems the 19 got caught speeding into the pits, but we cannot confirm that. That is such a costly mistake by that car that has so much pace. So now Andrew T is our GT3 leader, with Antonio and Mariano now P2 and P3. So now, where is Matteo? Where is Banked Racing? There they are down the front straight, and they did it! They undercut both the NSX and Porsche. They are now P4. This has been an incredible race for them thus far. A failed quali starting P20, and now one position from the podium.
There is one big, yikes. You look at the bottom right, with a minus 0.4, meaning we'll run out of gas before the end of the race.
So this bold pit strategy by Banked Racing might not work out for them, as they are short on fuel by about 3 gallons. They will have to conserve fuel now while also trying to manage these gaps to the cars around them.
To make matters worse, Banked Racing has zero experience conserving fuel like this. This is going to be a very challenging end of the race for them.
And oh wow! The Corvette has tagged the wall hard. While they need to conserve, they are clearly still pushing as they slap the wall and lose their right mirror. Being this close to the podium might be the biggest thing to hurt the Corvette. Oh, and the mistakes continue for Banked Racing as they run very, very wide out of T27. They will get a slowdown penalty, but they will be able to kill that without any real consequence. As they approach the PlayStation chicane, oh, what has happened ahead? The 26 McLaren is off! The 26 is in the wall!
What on earth just happened?
Mariano must have missed their braking mark.
They came unbelievably close to collecting P2.
Wow, just look at this ride that McLaren went on. They went flying into that wall. I'm shocked they don't have more damage, but they will keep on going.
But as they do,
Banked Racing will be coming up behind them. They are now on the podium. How incredible is this? As the 963 in overall P2 gets clean around Banked Racing, they will be catching the 24 into Indianapolis. And oh my God! Antonio has lost it. Antonio has spun. There has been another spin ahead of Banked Racing, and oh my, they have collected the 26 McLaren behind. That is 2 crashes from the podium on 1 lap. What is even happening right now? Banked Racing is now the 2nd place GT3 car. With this insane lap taking out the cars ahead, Banked Racing's focus will be entirely on the cars behind and their fuel level, as the leader is 7 seconds up the road. And at this stage of the race, it would take a miracle for them to be in that fight. But if this lap was any evidence, anything can happen here at Le Mans. But a miracle is about to happen. As the 42 caddy goes to pass Andrew T in the GT3 lead, they will make contact and send the number 1 into the wall. This is the chaos of multi-class racing and IMSA. They will take that car to the pits, and that will mean we have a new leader of the GT3 class, all the way from P20, Banked Racing in that 10 Corvette.
Oh, you're kidding me. Oh, you're kidding me. We are now in the lead of the race with not enough gas to make it to the end. Are you kidding me? No! Please work in my favor.
So now, as the clock strikes 0, we will come to the end of lap 10 with no white flag. The Corvette has only saved 0.2 gallons.
You've only got enough fuel for this lap.
They are still a third of a lap short on fuel.
Maybe stupid, but like, I'm going for it all. If we lose the race, then we lose the race. If we don't make it to the end, I don't care.
And there it is! There is the decision by our leader! Banked Racing will not give up the lead! They will not come into the pits for fuel here at the end of lap 11! And they will get the white flag with 1.5 gallons of fuel in the tank! The Corvette will be 0.2 of a lap short on fuel if the estimates are right. And even if they can save the fuel, Matteo is within 2 seconds. They would surely catch the Corvette as they conserve to make it to the end. Banked Racing is desperately trying to get off the throttle and coast into the chicane. 1 gallon left in that Corvette, 0.4 of a lap left. And now the gap to behind is 1.5 seconds.
That's 0.5 gallon of fuel left.
We are headed into the Mulsanne corner for one final time this race. The 10 is feathering that throttle early into the corner. 0.5 gallon left. They are running on fumes. The gap to the NSX is holding steady. 1/2 lap to go, just 18 corners.
The gap behind is now 1.6 seconds.
Banked Racing is desperate, as they are at 70% throttle on the straight, and the gap now to P2 is closing to under 1 second, coming to Indianapolis for the final time.
We're running on fumes, mate.
Matteo is all over the Corvette now, as that Corvette has absolutely nothing left in their fuel tank. 0.2 gallons in that car. Will they be able to just coast to the end? Now going into a marge for the last time this race. 6/10 now back to P2. So close to the end now as we go down to the Porsche curb.
I'm out.
So oh my, that is it. It has happened. Banked Racing has ran out of fuel. Just 12 corners from their first IMSA win. Absolutely devastating.
Oh, so close. No. I was like half a lap away. We're not going to make it to the end either. Going to be a do not finish. Risk it to try to get the win. Tow it back to the pits. Oh, that's so frustrating. Oh. I kind of knew that could happen and could happen. We definitely could have done a better fuel conserve there.
Heartbreaking for Banked Racing. But now, Matteo L, the driver of the number 13 NSX, will take home the win in the GT3 class. Morgan S in the 39 BMW starting from the pits will take home second place. And rounding out the podium, Roderick C in the 40 Porsche will hold off the number 30 McLaren behind to finish in P3. Congratulations to all our GT3 leaders. The overall winner of the race will be Erwin K in the number 12 Ferrari, with Samuel C in the Porsche 963 taking home second place. And Cameron K in the number 23 Caddy will finish off the GTP podium. We unfortunately could not focus on the GTP class, but still, congratulations to all those drivers. And now, as we round out the top 10 of the GT3s, we move to Banked Racing, finishing in P17, the first of the drivers to get a DNF. After they ran out of gas on the last lap, they will lose 12 iRating from that result, but their 7 incident points will gain them 0.04 safety rating, a disappointing end to a great race for the Corvette driver.